let me get this camera all set up and send. It was like, oh my goodness. Uh, yeah, trying to get my cameras all set up again. I think that's as good as we're going to get it as far as a camera down, and I'm hoping that uh, my hands and my cords won't get tangled up in my audio thing because I'm trying to be really quiet because I'm actually kind of sharing space with my husband. He's in the same room as I am, actually. But I was thinking that if I could do this for a few minutes and do some color pencils live, that would be really, really cool. And see if I could get that going on the right, uh, get it going. Enough of that. Let me go ahead and kind of explain what I'm going to be doing today. I'm not going to complete this whole thing tonight. This whole thing is kind of a step by step process. I believe that I can get some of the shading and the shadows and the over here in the eye work be finished tonight. That this whole shadings and shadows could be finished tonight. Hey Bella, you're gonna have to moderate for me because I'm not gonna always see the chat. I will do my best to look at the chat, but I'm not gonna guarantee that I'm gonna be always seeing everybody's comments in the chat. So what I'm gonna be trying to do tonight is kind of start on working in the shadows a little bit more, but not too much more, and hopefully his eyes will be completely done tonight, and maybe some of this part could be done, and definitely I want the background here to be a slightly darker. Other than that, I think this guy is not going to be completely done tonight, so we're going to go ahead and do a little bit, and I'm going to try to talk hair as I go. I got some reference pictures, and believe it or not, I don't know if I'm going to post this on Instagram or not, but this is actually my husband's eyes, and he have got this future really beautiful. Thank you, Bella. But yeah, those eyes are actually my husband's eyes, Bella. And the eyes are actually my husband's eyes. He was so generous enough to be my model, actually. And so I'm kind of wondering if I should do like a side by side Instagram picture of, yeah, this is my reference photos and this is what came from it. So there was a part of me that wants to do it just to be say, I'm so proud of myself. Kind of stuff. Okay, I'm kind of blabbering. So we'll go ahead and start right into this. And I off camera here on my iPad, I actually got my reference photos that I got here. So I'm gonna take a look at that. I think it's a lot more gray than I think it is. So let me pull out this one. I'm trying out some new paper too, and this is what I have, but it's also pretty good paper as far as trying to figure out colors. And I got another kind of thumbnail going on there too, so you get to see show and tell. Show and tell of all my stuff. Uh, so I'm gonna use this as like a swatch page, so I could see what I could put in there. So let me see what I could swatch for some shadows. I think Payne's gray might not be so bad, but it might be a little too dark. Let me see if I could grab sepia. For those who are relatively interested in art, I'm gonna try to show my pencils and like which ones I use. I like a 10% sepia and see how that goes. So about Mm, that might be a safe color, but it might not be the darkest color I need yet. I'm trying to see my lighting, if I need to move my lighting. I might have to move it, my lighting over here, Bella, because I'm right-handed and it creates a big shadow. It's kind of why I'm doing these things. Like, hold up. Let me see. Get a big camera shadow. So let me push my books back. All right. That might be better. Hold on. So if I come in with my, which one did I pick up? Uh-oh, where did my pencil go? Where's my sepia at? Oh, right here. So if I take my, yeah, so much better, so much better. We'll see if it's, I don't know if the camera got it. All right. Okay. I'm already could tell by just putting that incy weensy little bit in there that I'm going to probably need to go a little bit darker than that. That's going to give me almost a soft gray in there where I need to be a little bit darker. So I'm going to have to let that dry, unfortunately. And I'm not going to do a blow dryer on live. I'm not going to do a blow dryer on my live. Oop. Yeah, I don't think it's going to smudge that. So let's go ahead and take another swatch of something. And this one is like a gray, I think. This one's like a steel gray. And see if I could. Also, where did my pencil? I'm losing everything. Bella, I'm losing everything today. Yeah, I've never done one of these before, Bella, either. So this is also a learning experience with all my lighting and my camera and having cords everywhere. This is like a maze of cords. Okay, that's going to probably be too light too. I might have to do that Payne's Gray. I'm trying to resist taking out the Payne's Gray, take out the big boys, because you see how dark that all of a sudden bumps everything. There might be what I need there, though. Okay. So, yeah, being an artist is not always fun because you're always swatching out your stuff and you're always testing to see what. I think that actually is the color I'm looking for, and that's the Payne's Gray. Where is my sharpener at? I'm gonna go ahead and be a little bit sharper. Take my general sharpener and just kind of go at it. I'm gonna make a mess all over the floor while doing this. All right, like that. So, looking at my reference. Oh no, what happened, Bella? I hope everything was all right. I really, playing with decks, coming home from any major thing is always fun. So even though this looks completely darker than what that is over here, eh, I have to let this area dry first before I put this color over. But oh my goodness, no! Don't be in the hospital. I don't like people being in the hospital. I hate hospitals. So it'll be about right. A little bit. Sort of kind of pull those colors in and kind of smooth them out. The one good thing I love about watercolor pencil is oh yeah, nobody loves hospitals, I think. One thing I like about the watercolor pencil medium is that you kind of could smooth it out like so. It might have been a little too dark, but I could always go back in with a cinnamon and lighten it up just a hair. Could probably need a softer brush too. Are you on Facebook when I'm feeling a bit better? Yeah, I understand. That's never fun, Bella. No, I don't like things. Actually, I'm kind of looking in the camera finder here as I'm looking at you on live chat, and it's not looking as bad as I think it is. Even though it kind of looks crazy. Yeah, I know it looks great the way it was, but kind of needed some of that dark come in just a hair. It looks a little crazy, but I could also always go back in and touch it up. So the one thing about watercolor pencils, you could fix it. If you don't like, yeah, you could always go back and fix it. But I'm gonna pull this blue right in here too. So like where I'm pointing with my brush, this blue, even though it's very dark right now, is gonna come in along this ridge line right in here too. So I could always brighten it up too. So I'm probably gonna take a little bit of that white, wherever my white went off to, and just kind of go right on top of this with a little bit of that cinnamon color. Might have needed purple. It probably was the wrong color. Payne's Grave was probably the wrong color. And I really needed the purple in here instead. I probably needed a darker, like deoxy purple or that Barney purple. Not really Barney purple. Barney purple was more fuchsia, but. So unfortunately I'm going to have to let that area dry because I could just go over on top of it with that cinnamon and a white, and it would pretty much almost erase this back to normal. It was back to normal, but I won't, but it would probably have a little bit of shadow. But art is all about live and learning. It's kind of like life. Art is like life. You live and you learn. And hold on for 5 seconds. I had to move the trash can closer to me because if I didn't move the trash can closer to me, then I'm not going to have anywhere to put my pencil shavings. So yeah. Kind of go in there with a cinnamon, with a white, not a white, and some cinnamon. You go in there and you kind of mix it all together and you get a nice A little bit of skin tone like that. And then I go in, make that a little bit like so. Kind of go over it just a hair. And kind of need a little bit more white, but I could always add the white. It's gonna have more white in there, I promise. But at least it will have a little bit of a cooler tone than it did before. Kind of reminds me of gouache in a way, this watercolor pencil stuff, where you kind of, I could probably even bring out the gouache if I really, really needed to, but kind of wanted to preserve some of that highlight underneath the eye duct here, but could always go back in there later too. Kind of smooth that out just a hair. Kind of go back in there just a little bit. And I'm humming to myself, I know. It's a terrible habit while I'm doing arting. Terrible, terrible habit. Definitely made his eyes look a little bit deeper than they were. It's not exactly where I want it to be yet, but that's the way you work. You work in layers, and you like some things and you don't like other things. And you eventually work it up to where you need it to be. So yeah, there we are. We're getting there. Progress. Probably when this area dries, it probably gonna add a little bit of sepia-ish to that. I'm thinking sepias. A little bit of, although it kind of looks smoother now than it did before. There's a certain smoothness that I just captured that it didn't have before, though. I'm gonna flatten that area just a hair. I'm kind of seeing it through the camera. That's another thing that I like about live chats. So you can kind of see what you need to adjust through the lens of a camera. I actually need to bring out the bigger guns. I need to bring out the water brush. Ah, Annika's going live, so everybody's going to go to the Annika channel. I'm joking, I'm joking. She probably didn't see me going on either. Alrighty. I am not. So yeah, here we are. I'm just kind of looking through my camera finder too, so trying to figure out where it is I need to be lighter, where I need to be darker, where it is I need to focus on. And that part needs to be a little bit darker. And that part needs a bit darker too. Oh. I'm not really even going to be talking too much in the way of tarot tonight. I was kind of hoping that it was going to be some late Saturday chatty thing, and I could come in and do this. His skin tone is looking a little orange. Not as bad as I thought it was. I'm like I said, I'm in the blaring light here. This little spotlight that I have, it looks very, very tan, very sunburnt, very orange. And I think you need some other colors in there too. But I'm just trying to get that foundation in. Okay, get some of that water in there. And blend that out just a little bit more. But yeah, the one thing I do like about watercolor pencils, and this is a watercolor pencil drawing, and these watercolor pencils that I have are expensive. The expensive Caran d'Ache watercolor pencils, but they're like that top of the line watercolor pencils. They're like the number one watercolor pencils in the world to get. And I got it with my tax return money because I didn't really need any tarot cards. It was like the really big tax return gift to myself. I really don't have too many in the way of tarot cards that I'm harking after right now. I have backed the Mystic Earth Tarot. I think I backed the Madrone from what's its face? The Lo Scarabeo Madrone. I'm actually not sure about that one. You know, I backed that one and then almost had backer's remorse from that one too. Believe it or not. Yeah, I backed that one, but I almost had a backer's remorse on that one too. I don't, because I really like the Lo Scarabeo version, but I kind of would have really liked to save up a few more of my dollars and got the whatchamacallit version, the Il Menigalo version. That was the one that I would have really wanted. But I couldn't do that. Couldn't wait for the Il Menigalo version of that one. And they actually, somebody had the Il Menigalo version on eBay lately. And I have a little, it's not really a soda pop, but it's like a sparkling juice thing off camera. So I'm also drinking as I'm talking. Haven't got any. Ah, I've been thinking about it because, Bella, because it's just kind of one of those things that, one, I don't really necessarily need any quote unquote new decks because I got so many here. And then the ones that I really want are millions of dollars. So I'm probably I really ought to be saving up for those ones, so to speak. So kind of where I'm at. Kind of where I'm at. So all right. So that it doesn't look like it because of the light glaring on it, but the Payne's gray doesn't look so harsh now. So he's kind of blended in a little bit more. However, he kind of has that sunburnt look, so I might have to find. He's a cinnamon color. You know, his skin is kind of that cinnamon color. I think it needs more purples. Not like a Payne's gray, which is more blues. I need to stay away from the blues. I think I need a really good purple for his shadows, or a few really good purples for his shadows. So let me scoot him over here for a sec. So let me find some really good purples and my color swatches while he dries. For two decks of... Yeah, me too, Bella. I just have too many decks that just sit there on my shelf upstairs. I don't really... Okay, maybe that's the color I'm looking for. So let's go ahead and check that out. Ah, that might be my color, like a burnt sienna for some of that shadow. Because that burnt sienna, if you look right here, oh, sorry, this way. Kind of, if you look right here, it kind of has that purple hue. And that purple hue is exactly, I think, what I'm looking for right in some of his eyelid shadows and maybe a little bit under the eyes and maybe a little bit to cover up that Payne's gray there. So I think that's the color I'm looking for. So that is the one thing about painting and stuff like that. You kind of have to swatch and try out, swatch and try out, and then you fail. You swatch and try out and fail again some more. So yeah, it's always good to fail. I'm an advocate for failure because if you could fail, then you could tell somebody else what not to do. So while this is still drying, it's going to dry for a little bit. I'm going to go in here with a 3B liner pencil and kind of darken a little bit right in this hood line here a little bit more. I don't know if I'm going to wet this down yet or I'm going to leave it dry, but we'll see. Ah, gotta put that one down. And I'm gonna do my best to not get totally off camera with my pencils and stuff, and it's gonna be hard. Can I tilt this down a little bit more? Nope, that's as far as I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna test it. I got this rigged just right, if you know what I mean, Bella. I got one of these arm clamp things on my phone, and that's how we're doing the live chat tonight. And looking downwards, I got one of these clampers looking down onto my drawings as I'm doing it, and I'm not going to test it. I did it just right, and I was even almost not wanting to test that lighting, that, you know, moving that lighting around when I did it earlier, because when I start moving things around, it's like, oh crap, oh crap. Probably should have done like a black, like a watercolor black instead of a graphite black, because the graphite black is going to shiny a little bit. Hmm. Although that is the color that I need, though. Look at that. It's making it so much darker that I. And I'm gonna tell everybody, or who's rewatching this, and Bella too, that I am so sorry about the horns and the background noise, if you could even hear it. My husband is in the same room watching The Hobbit, so I'm hoping that it won't pick up in the audio. And I'm trying to talk softly so that he's not distracted either. He's being a good baby. He's being good. It's one of these days when I could have a studio, art studio, all downstairs with the girls running around and all this good stuff. Maybe we will talk about having private studio spaces and stuff for all these kind of art live chats. These art live chats kind of have to be here at my studio space here. And it's a very public area. It's not always great. That is exactly what I needed, though. Yeah, one day I'll have it, but it might not be exactly tonight. So there you go. That is exactly what I was looking for. You know, like that dark color. Oh my goodness. That's exactly what I was looking for. All right, so his eyes are kind of drying out now. He it looks like there was some pulling up of the paint there, so I might have to go back in there and fix that. So I'm gonna get some of that, some of that, mix her all around. And, blend it all in there just a little bit. All right. I'm also kind of tilting my head around because not just that you have glare, I have glare too. So I have glare right there, right where I need it. So I'm kind of moving my own head around, kind of going, how am I gonna fix? You probably get to see me. Oh my goodness, you almost see my head there, I think. With headphones in and trying to get some of that all blended in. I'm going to put some of that sienna in there too, but I kind of wanted to start from ground zero a little bit. Then I gotta wait for that to dry again. Poopers. So unfortunately my eye part might not be done tonight. Darn it. But at least I know which color I need to put on it. Let me go back here in my reference photo and see how my cloth over his face lighting should go. So I sees that he would have a very almost like a shadow right in here and lights right in this area. Very intriguing. So had to get my husband to do a funny pull the cloth over his face kind of stuff. So there you go. I kind of was putting some silver and Payne's gray here, so I think I'm gonna make this like a pretty blue. I'm guessing, But it really could be any color. It could be reds, it could be um, greens. I think since I have a lot of cool colors and his eyes is a real cool color, I probably would want either a bold red or a blue. But I'm thinking that blue or Prussian blue would be really nice here. So I think I'm going to go with a blue. It's done. I've decided. Blue. All right, let me go ahead and do some test paper, and let me try the night blue. See how it looks. Whoa, that's a pretty blue. It's pretty intense blue. Or do I want a softer colors like this is a Prussian blue. Even then, that's almost striking. But the Prussian blue, I think, might look better with this than that blue. That blue looks pretty extreme. Should I, or I should go with the gray tones a little bit more. I'm trying to figure out what is it that I want. What do I want for this piece? Oops. Could go with the gray tone a little bit. Let's see what that's a sepia. Let's see what I have here. %. Let me try that one. That one's going to be more of a gray, I believe, too. That looks very dark, though. That's kind of a more browner gray, though. Don't like that. Trying to figure out colors of to go in here. If it should be like a blue, it should be a red. Should be I don't know color. Let's see. I believe that looking at this, letting it dry, looking at it, letting it dry. I think it's dry enough that I could start working on some of those tones again. connection problem too, so unfortunately I might have to cut my stream short too because of technical difficulties. My phone is not my pad or anywhere else that I usually film on, so it doesn't surprise me that there are going to be some funny businesses going on. Let me see. Probably kind of looking at inside the camera viewer to see where I need to work on. Looking at my reference photo. Well, unfortunately, everybody, I'm not able to completely finish what I wanted to do today because I had some issues with that Payne's gray earlier. I think I got it dry. Is it dry? No, it's not dry. Is it dry? Maybe not dry. I had some problem with that Payne's gray earlier, right in that area, looking too blue. I'm even seeing through the camera viewer that it's having some issues with the pigment on the paper kind of stuff. And I will come in with that, like a combination of that cinnamon and the burnt sienna, I'm thinking. And darken this area just like the ever so little bit. And then also probably go back over here again and smooth some skin. Maybe add some more purple tones to his skin. I prefer purple tones because purple is like the combination of red and blue versus like red tones or brown tones I think is more straight up red, and it's more like red and green, which is like it has a hint of yellow somewhere in there because green when you break it down has blue and yellow, and I don't necessarily want too many strong brown tones because if you do the diagram, color diagram enough, it will make too much yellows and it might bring it too blue, kind of like that. So I was thinking some more of the redder and blues versus the yellows and blues. So there you go. So I'm thinking that might be somewhat of my night. I'm gonna probably just straight up wisp some of this color right in there, ever so slightly. And then when I kind of gently, kind of dab it in and blend it in. Dab it and blend it. Get a straight up cinnamon color, like right that. Just exactly like so. I'll get more of that burnt sienna. I think might add just straight up steel gray, not gray, but like a steel gray or a sepia gray right in some of these eyelid lines too. Okay, let me add some of that right in there. Kind of soften that down just a hair like that. Kind of just lightly poke it. So I'll lightly just poke some of that purple in, let it dry, and I'll probably call it a night tonight, even though I am just kind of lingering on with this a little bit. Probably just gonna call it a night soon. I was saying that for the past few minutes, unfortunately. Just was not paying attention. Let me see. Like that. It's a little deeper than I initially started out, which is probably a good thing. Put some straight up whites right in there. Wipe off my brush. The white straight on. Kind of like so. Soften that edge out just a hair. Right in here. Alright. I'm gonna really call it done for tonight. I love you all, and I hope see you in the next stream. And hopefully, it won't be as clunky as this one, and I might have some more viewers. Don't quote me on this one. I might try tomorrow on Sunday to do this again, a redo of this again, and see if I can get it all better. And I'll see you soon. Bye.